Welcome back to Hong Kong and the Asian Investment Conference, where we've been taking a closer look at currency wars and global trade imbalances and whether those might potentially derail global economic growth. Joining me now is one of our panelists who just spoke on this subject, Professor Jagdish Bhagwati of Columbia University. Professor Bhagwati, please tell us what were the key findings of the panel?
Well, I think we went into these issues, and I think the panelists themselves were basically of the view that global imbalances, their effects can be exaggerated because global imbalances come and go, and then sometimes are reversed, as time passes by. But basically, the reason why we would expect them not to endure in the current form is because mainly we've got Chinese surpluses and US deficits. It's not the only part of the story, but it's a major part of the story. So it's like the Prince and Hamlet, what you have is a situation where the Chinese are already moving towards internal spending on infrastructure. They've already announced, how they're going to try and spend more money on social spending, etc., which means domestic spending. Okay, so that is already taking away from directly promoting exports and so on. So basically, with the expenditure shifts inwards, they're going to be demanding more from outside. Infrastructure spending also means that they're going to be buying, things like Caterpillar and Siemens equipment and so on. So I think there's going to be a double whammy from the shift towards internal spending on reducing their surpluses, you see. First, they'll spend the surpluses. Secondly, the current surplus, or the current trade surplus will also tend to fall as they buy more and more from abroad. So that is one part of the adjustment that is going to happen entirely in their own self-interest. And at the same time, the Americans realize that they can't go on the way they have because, they're really indebted like mad to the Chinese. So President Obama has no option except to set up very serious thinking and plans to, after the fiscal spending stimulus has taken root and the economy has sort of come out of the tank, which it already seems to have been doing, he has to go on and go into reverse to be able to get hold of the continuing excess spending. And I think that will match the Chinese thing. So you will have the two major players for the internal reasons actually moving in the direction of reducing the imbalances. So one of the things which, essentially I was saying was that there is a sort of self-correction from the point of view of their national self-interest as well into reducing these, and therefore one should not simply extrapolate from what we have right now, which is what we economists normally do, and every human being does. They just draw a line forward from the current situation.
If we take the currency element of this, right, the Chinese don't have any interest in a destabilization of U.S. debts or a devaluation of U.S. debt.
That too.
And also on the currency front, when we keep hearing these pressures from the West that China should revalue, are those not just empty words?
I think they're basically empty words in the sense that I think the best economists within the administration understand that this is really like the hands of the clock, as I said, in my intervention. And what matters is the underlying fundamentals, saying we should have trade retaliation, create a kind of a sense of a nuclear winter on trade issues, like we'll go in and really sock it to your jaw. But on the other hand, most people realize that it just doesn't make any sense given the interdependent nature of the world economy. Because if we Americans start doing that, it will immediately lead to repercussions, right? In the sense and that's what's happened actually. When we started the Buy America provisions, the president was virtually told by GE, Caterpillar, Boeing, etc., look, most of our sales are abroad. If you start down that road, we can definitely expect some retaliation, and that's going to hurt us more than what you might gain by way of jobs. So don't start down that road.
Well, thanks very much for your time.
Good.
It's Professor Bhagwati here from the Asia Investment Conference in Hong Kong.